Hi, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the symposium. Sorry I can't be there today. My name's David Burns, and I'm the founder and CEO of Collective Leisure and director of DB Consulting. And today I'm coming from Gadigal country here in New South Wales. So, a little bit of background about me. I've worked in the sport, leisure, and physical activity sector in England and Australia for about 23 years. And in that time, I've worked across local government, peak bodies, the private sector, and over the last few years, the social economy. I arrived in Australia in 2008 with my backpack, ready to start a new life. And having worked in football in the UK, I thought I'd get a job easy over here in football or soccer, but it didn't really work out like that. And luckily enough, I fell into the aquatics and leisure industry. In 2019, I founded Collective Leisure from my own personal experiences and deep sense of social justice that awareness and global health and well-being is tracking poorly. And I wanted to create something new in terms of a social, sustainable social enterprise. So we co-create programs for hard to reach, underserved communities, and we do that with a really inclusive, community-based physical activity well-being and employment service. Our purpose is to enable well-being without boundaries. And what we mean by that, it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, we believe you have the right to be a well-being. And all of our work is focused on our mission, which is to reduce health inequity within our communities. And when we look at reducing health inequity, a big part of that actually is providing employment to people, education, and making sure that people have a decent income. So that's what I really wanted to talk to you today about in terms of a work integration social enterprise, WISE, which is the acronym. So for those that might not know about social enterprise or familiar with social enterprises, a social enterprise trades like any other business. But it's specifically here to make the world a better place. And the tagline really is business for good. So the best way I like to describe a social enterprise is if you had a non-for-profit here and a business here and they had a baby, it would be a social enterprise. Now, there was a report commissioned last year by the new peak body, National Peak Body for Social Enterprise, and we were able to quantify the size and economic contribution of social enterprise in Australia. And it actually equates to contributing around 21 billion, which is around 1% of GDP, and is the same as the arts and recreation sector. And within the sector, we're able to provide around 200,000 jobs for people through social enterprises. And that's about 1 in 60 jobs or 1.6 of the workforce. So it's quite decent. And it's actually the same as the mining industry. Now, there are approximately around 12,000 social enterprises operating in a wide range of industries across the country. And there are roughly about 460 certified social enterprises through the regulator Social Traders. And I'm really pleased to say Collective Leisure is one of the only ones in the sport and leisure industry that is certified. Now, we know that social enterprise is growing. We know it's making a contribution, to diverse groups, and we're providing, an inclusive economy and providing employment and access to services for disadvantaged Australians. And this is where the work integration social enterprise comes in. So, what is a WISE? Well, we exist to provide employment opportunities for those that are shut out of work. We unlock better outcomes than mainstream employment services for people experiencing disadvantage, particularly long-term employment outcomes. We exist to provide employment or pathway to employment for people who are highly disadvantaged in the labour market. Now, often with systemic issues of disadvantage and discrimination, providing work and support to specific groups such as refugees or asylum seekers, First Nations, Australians, or people with disability. Like most innovations, WISE has emerged to address a gap or failure in the marketplace. And if we think about the current employment service model, it really has limited impact on those most disadvantaged job seekers. And traditionally, like most employers in the aquatics industry, I'm not saying this is all the time, but we seek the most skilled and experienced people who can come and work for us. So we're really not tapping into, people who are from a disadvantaged area, disadvantaged communities. So the conditions really don't serve those that are most disadvantaged, nor communities with high unemployment. So this comes at great cost to individuals, governments, and communities. Now, I just wanted to share an experience when I worked in the private sector. I opened a facility in Auburn, one of the most multicultural communities in Australia, Auburn Ruth Everest Aquatic Centre in 2019. And I initiated and led a diversification employment program for refugees. And in the end, we had around 20 refugees working there as lifeguards, swim teachers, lifeguards, etc. And it was showcased on SBS World News. And the reason why I wanted to mention this is because it was actually a far cry from when I opened the facility a couple of years earlier, when we were on current affairs due to a modesty curtain that we had there for women's only sessions. And this was 2 hours a week on a Sunday, and there was 5 pools. So that just gives a little bit of context. But the narrative there was that it was so un-Australian, apartheid, it was so racist, towards Australians. And I was getting hate mail from across the country. It was a really challenging time. I'd just left a job working for local government, so I was thinking, what the hell have I done jumping into this frying pan? But the reason why I wanted to share that with you is because it actually takes courage and time and strong values and patience and leadership to create the conditions for an inclusive, safe culture that is required to support marginalised groups to flourish. And that approach is really fundamental to achieving that. And it's not just about the centre manager, it's about, the team leaders, the coordinators, everybody within the facility through what we like to call distributed leadership. And this is kind of fundamental to our work here at Collective Leisure. So we have a Path to Potential programme for people from marginalised communities, and we deliver a wide range of sports and wellbeing programmes to the community for people with disability, mental health recovery, seniors, new settlers, hard to reach groups, and our coaches are from a refugee background. So thought it would be just worth sharing some of our key features of our organization in terms of we are people-centered. So we really look at closely at the people we're serving and engaging, structural barriers that are currently in place, and the life situations for our employees, and we support them with their needs over time. And we offer meaningful work. So, it's not just providing work that's doable and challenging. We're trying to unlock their development. So, in an aquatics and leisure context, it's not just about providing, roles for cleaning or supervising the pool. It's opportunities for people to grow and really, sell a career. And we're collaborative. We work across the system, building relationships with partners. And we also try and provide our staff with social and personal development experience. And we really value, lived experience. So we've got some of our employees from refugee backgrounds into senior roles, as sports development officers, and now working more into the governance areas. So I know there's a crisis with swim teachers and people, some organisations are struggling for lifeguards, but I'd just really like to, as a final takeaway, just share that if there's an untapped market here, if we can provide the right conditions and support for certain populations, and if we can move from ego system awareness. So what does everything mean to me, or within my orbit, to more of a ecosystems awareness that we're part of a bigger system. And finally, if there was a couple of takeaways for the inner leadership work that I could suggest for you to look at, it would be to have an open mind, an open heart, and an open will. So I think that's my 10 minutes. Just like to thank everybody for listening, and to Royal Life for the convening the symposium. Wish you well for the rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Bye.